Did you know that a single person moving to Canada needs around $15,000 CAD just to cover their first year? That's right, $15,000. It might sound like a lot, but let's break it down to see where all that money goes. That's like trying to buy a decent used car, but instead of wheels, you're getting a shot at a new life. Imagine the possibilities that come with that investment. A new job, new friends, and a whole new environment to explore. Yeah, turns out the Canadian dream comes with a pretty hefty price tag, but don't let that discourage you. With proper planning and budgeting, it's entirely achievable. Let's dive deeper into what makes up this cost. We're talking about visa fees, living expenses, the whole shebang. Visa fees alone can set you back a few $100s depending on the type of visa you're applying for. Then there's rent, which can vary greatly depending on the city you choose to live in. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver are on the pricier side, while smaller towns might be more affordable. Now, before you start stuffing your savings under your mattress and booking a one-way ticket to the Great White North, hold your moose there, buddy. It's important to have a clear financial plan. This includes not just the initial costs, but also an emergency fund for unexpected expenses. Understanding the financial side of a Canadian visa is about as crucial as a hockey stick in a Stanley Cup final. You need to be prepared and informed. This means researching the cost of living in different provinces, understanding healthcare costs, and even considering the exchange rate if you're converting from another currency. You wouldn't show up to that game unprepared, would you? Just like a hockey player needs to know the rules and have the right gear, you need to know the financial landscape and have a solid plan. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to break down the costs, the requirements, and everything in between. From the initial visa application to finding a place to live to budgeting for daily expenses, we've got you covered. Think of it as a financial boot camp, preparing you for the epic journey of becoming an honorary Canuck, or at least visiting for a spell. We'll guide you through each step, ensuring you're well prepared for this exciting adventure. So grab your calculator, take some notes, and let's get started on making your Canadian dream a reality. Look, Canada's not just handing out citizenship like free poutine at a hockey game. They want to make sure you're not going to be a financial burden. That means proving you've got the dough to support yourself, pay your bills, and maybe even splurge on some Timbits every now and then. Think of it from their perspective. Canada is a welcoming and diverse country, but they also have social systems to support their citizens and residents. They want to ensure that newcomers can contribute to the economy and society, not strain it. That's why understanding the visa requirements isn't just about jumping through bureaucratic hoops. It's about showing Canada that you're serious about your move, that you've thought it through, and that you're ready to embrace the Canadian way of life, which includes paying your taxes on time and not complaining about the weather. So, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of what you'll need to shell out to make your Canadian dream a reality. All right, let's talk turkey, or should I say maple syrup. When it comes to moving to Canada, there are some costs you simply can't ignore. These expenses are crucial to understand and plan for if you want to make your Canadian dream a reality. Getting your hands on that coveted Canadian visa involves tackling a few financial hurdles. It's not just about filling out forms and waiting for approval. There's a financial commitment that comes with it. First up, we've got the application fees. Think of it as a cover charge for entering the Canadian club. These fees are non-negotiable and must be paid up front. They vary depending on the type of visa you're after, but they can set you back a couple $100. For instance, a standard visitor visa might cost around $100, while a work permit could be closer to $155. If you're applying for permanent residency, be prepared to shell out even more. These fees vary depending on the type of visa you're after, but they can set you back a couple $100. And remember, these are just the initial costs. If your application is denied, you won't get a refund. So it's crucial to get everything right the first time. Next, we have the big kahuna proof of funds. This is where Canada wants to see the color of your money, metaphorically speaking, of course. The government needs to be assured that you have enough financial resources to support yourself and any dependents without relying on public funds. This is where Canada wants to see the color of your money, metaphorically speaking, of course. You'll need to show them bank statements, investment records, or any other documents that prove you've got enough cash to keep yourself afloat in the land of moose and mounties. The exact amount required varies depending on the size of your family and the type of visa you're applying for. For example, a single applicant might need to show around $12,960 CAD, while a family of 4 could need upwards of $24,000 CAD. You'll need to show them bank statements, investment records, or any other documents that prove you've got enough cash to keep yourself afloat in the land of moose and mounties. This isn't just a one-time check. You'll need to maintain these funds throughout your stay. It's a way for the Canadian government to ensure that newcomers won't become a financial burden on the state. And let's not forget about the day-to-day living expenses. Rent or mortgage payments, groceries, transportation, those hockey tickets you'll definitely be buying, it all adds up. Living in Canada isn't cheap, and it's important to budget for these ongoing costs. Those hockey tickets you'll definitely be buying, it all adds up. Beyond the basics, you'll want to enjoy the Canadian lifestyle, which means budgeting for entertainment, dining out, and other leisure activities. Hockey games, concerts, and exploring the great outdoors are all part of the Canadian experience. The amount you'll need varies depending on where you plan to live. Vancouver's going to cost you a heck of a lot more than Saskatoon, and your lifestyle choices. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver are known for their high cost of living, with expensive housing and higher prices for goods and services. On the other hand, smaller cities and rural areas can be more affordable, but they might not offer the same amenities and job opportunities. It's all about finding the right balance for your needs and budget. So before you pack your bags and head to the Great White North, make sure you've done your homework. Research the cost of living in different cities, create a detailed budget, and ensure you have enough savings to cover both the initial and ongoing expenses. Moving to Canada can be an exciting adventure, but it's essential to be financially prepared to make the most of your new life. With careful planning and a clear understanding of the costs involved, you'll be well on your way to enjoying all that Canada has to offer. From its stunning natural beauty to its vibrant cities and welcoming communities, Canada is a fantastic place to call home. Just make sure you're ready to handle the financial side of things, and you'll be set for a successful and fulfilling journey. Section 4. Visa variety, financial diversity, tailoring your budget. Now, just like there are different flavors of poutine, don't even get me started on the whole foie gras poutine debate, there are also different types of Canadian visas, each with its own set of financial requirements. Navigating through these can be as complex as choosing the perfect poutine topping, but don't worry, we've got you covered. Let's start with the basics. Canadian visas come in various forms, each tailored to different needs and circumstances. Whether you're a student, a professional, or someone looking to settle down permanently, there's a visa for you. But with each type comes its own financial obligations and planning. If you're a bright-eyed student dreaming of hitting the books and maybe a few pubs in Canada, you'll need a study permit. This permit is your gateway to the Canadian education system, but it comes with its own set of financial prerequisites. In addition to the usual application fees, you'll also need to prove you've got enough money to cover your tuition fees, living expenses, and a return ticket home, unless you manage to charm your way into permanent residency, eh? This means having a solid financial plan in place before you even set foot on Canadian soil. The application fees are just the beginning. You'll need to budget for tuition, which can vary significantly depending on the institution and program you choose. Living expenses are another major consideration, including accommodation, food, transportation, and other daily costs. Proving you have enough funds is crucial. This usually means showing bank statements or other financial documents that demonstrate you can support yourself during your studies. It's not just about having the money, it's about proving you have it. And don't forget the return ticket home. While you might be dreaming of staying in Canada forever, the authorities need to see that you have a plan to return home if things don't work out. This is all part of ensuring that you can support yourself without becoming a burden on the Canadian system. For those looking to work their magic in the Canadian workforce, a work permit is your golden ticket. This permit allows you to work in Canada, but like the study permit, it comes with its own set of financial requirements. Again, you'll need to show proof of funds to cover your living expenses. The exact amount will depend on factors like your occupation, the province you're working in, and whether your pet beaver has any special needs. Yes, even your furry friends need to be considered in your financial planning. Living expenses can vary widely depending on where you live and work in Canada. Major cities like Toronto and Vancouver are more expensive than smaller towns in rural areas. You'll need to budget for housing, utilities, food, transportation, and other daily expenses. Your occupation can also affect your financial planning. Some jobs may come with higher salaries, but they might also come with higher living costs. It's important to research the job market and understand the financial implications of your chosen career path. The province you're working in can also impact your budget. Each province has its own cost of living, tax rates, and other financial considerations. Make sure to research the specific financial requirements and benefits of the province you plan to work in. And yes, if you have a pet beaver or any other special needs, you'll need to factor those into your budget as well. Pets can add to your living expenses, so make sure to plan accordingly. And for those aiming for the holy grail of Canadian immigration permanent residency, get ready to open your wallet even wider. Permanent residency comes with its own set of financial requirements, but it's also an investment in your future as an honorary Canadian. You'll need to meet a minimum income requirement which varies based on your family size and the province you're settling in. This means having a stable income and enough savings to support yourself and your family. The minimum income requirement is designed to ensure that you can support yourself and your family without relying on public assistance. This means having a stable job or other sources of income, as well as enough savings to cover any unexpected expenses. Your family size will also impact your financial planning. Larger families will need more income to meet the minimum requirements, so make sure to factor this into your budget. The province you're settling in can also affect your financial planning. Each province has its own cost of living, tax rates, and other financial considerations. Make sure to research the specific financial requirements and benefits of the province you plan to settle in. Think of it as an investment in your future as an honorary Canadian. With careful planning and budgeting, you can make your dream of living in Canada a reality. So, start planning, start saving, and get ready to embark on your Canadian adventure. Section 5. The Thrifty Traveler's Secret Weapon, Saving for Your Canadian Adventure. So, how do you amass this small fortune to impress those friendly Canadian border guards? Fear not, future Canucks, because I'm about to drop some serious savings knowledge on you. First and foremost, create a budget and stick to it like a maple leaf to a hockey jersey. Figure out how much you need to save each month, and find ways to cut back on unnecessary expenses. Trust me, that daily double-double can wait. Consider getting a side hustle or selling some of your belongings. Remember that vintage Beanie Baby collection you've been hoarding? Now's the time to cash in. And hey, don't be afraid to get creative. Host a pancake breakfast, organize a car wash, or offer your services as a professional moose whisperer. Every little bit helps.